This Mixed TV interview is supplied by Wholesale Supply Group. Visit us online at wholesalesupply.us.
All right, we got a room full this morning as we welcome you back. Our high school football kickoff show supplied by Wholesale Supply Group. It's time now to talk to the Bradley Central High School Bears, and for that, we go to the voice of the Bears, Garry Ownbey, and Coach Earl Rowin. Guys, good morning. How are you?
Good morning to you. Glad to be here, and this is about these guys here, so we're going to get them on the air here. We got a lot of 6 captains this year, and I'll let Damon tell you how he came about that, because normally you don't have 6 captains, but there's a good reason he had that. So Damon, our coach, starting his 18th year, and had a very successful career. He's only second to Jimmy Lovell in number of wins. So maybe a couple years down the road, good players, and if you got some good coaches, you know, coach them up, you know.
I've always said Bradley's a special place, so you know, fortunate to be the head coach for that long, and when you got guys like this, you know, obviously helps. But yeah, we do have a lot of captains this year, a large senior class for us, and when we talked about it as a coaching staff, and our kids always vote, you know, who they want their team leaders to be, then it was kind of hard just to have, you know, 3 or 4 guys, because really, and to be honest, not only the guys that are here, but we also have a couple other guys that probably deserve to be here, and it's a special class. And then, of course, Boo just joined us in the summer, so he wasn't. I didn't allow him to be a captain because he had to be with us through the off season, starting in January. But to be honest, he's came in and been a leader from the get-go. But yeah, these guys behind me are all leaders of our team, and you know, I'm fortunate to be the head coach of a team like this. And they're not only good guys, but they want to work hard. They're good teammates. They care about each other. So, pretty special group.
Well, Caleb, you've got a mic in your hand. Why don't you lead us off? Guys, just introduce yourself and what position you play and so forth.
My name's Caleb Martin.
They're all seniors, by the way.
My name's Caleb Martin, and I play quarterback and DB.
Hand the mic back there to Eugene, please.
My name is Eugene Peterson. I play O-line.
Tito Williams, DB and receiver.
Luke Keith, left tackle.
Boo Carter, number 6, running back athlete.
Marcus Gordon, number 8, DB and receiver.
Jackson Wilson, running back, linebacker.
So there you have a bunch of seniors. Probably every one of them going to play college ball somewhere as they're being recruited heavily, and a lot of good things and high expectations for Damon and his staff. One of the good things about Damon that I go back to a lot of times, his coaching staff. Out of the coaching staff, 10, counting himself, 10 of them were former Bears who played for Bradley. So I think that means a lot, so to speak, you know, when it comes to your dedication and your the way you work and your attitude and the love you have for Bradley Central High School. I know it speaks highly. Of course, Earl Rowin, who's been on the air for how many years now, Earl?
This will be 58.
58 years.
If I can hang in another week, we'll start.
It only seems Kessling's been on that long.
And he's only 69, so, you know.
Oh, my goodness. 58 years, Coach Rowin. My goodness, congratulations. Guys, yeah, Garry, back over to you.
Well, we have high expectations, I said, with the senior class. 24 seniors, I believe you have this year.
Come on back, David.
And yeah, come back in here. We're going to get you to talk about
He loves to avoid this stuff.
What's it been like leading up to this year? I mean, you've had 3 scrimmages against 3 defending state champions, which is pretty tough sledding right there, I guess. You've done quite well against them. But
we've held our own. I felt like we've competed, but you know, you face a team like Alcoa and Baylor and Anderson County, they're going to show some weaknesses, and that's exactly why we scrimmaged them. You know, we're not shying away from the fact that's everyone's goal, and that is, of course, our goal. So we wanted to make sure we had good competition. And you know, the good thing is we stayed healthy, but like I said, we got some had some weaknesses exposed, and then you know, had a lot of positives as well. So you know, hopefully that'll prepare us for the opening game against McMinn next week.
Well, that's why you play them. See if you win or lose, you find out what you need to do there. You're going to open with McMinn County on the road next Friday night. The 100th game between these two schools, wow. 100th game in 96 years. Wow. Second most rivalry in the state. And you know they're going to have their ears pinned back coming for the black and gold of Bradley. They wear their own black and gold, and they hate us up there. And there's no love lost.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Boo earlier about, you know, he asked who is our biggest rival, and I said, well, we got a few. And, you know, McMinn is obviously a huge rival, and I think some of the older people, including myself, look at McMinn as our biggest rival. Our kids obviously don't because of Cleveland and Walker Valley right here beside us, but we definitely know McMinn does not like us. There's no love lost, but a lot of respect for Bo and his staff because they play hard, they play the right way, and you know he always puts a tough team on the field. So it'll be a good game Friday night.
Yeah, it sure will. In your 18 years, starting your 18th year, what's a major change? What have you seen that's so different from the time you started when you were just a young whippersnapper in the late 20s? You were in.
I can't remember.
It's a lot going on. You had AstroTurf put down. You've had a Mr. Football lineman that went to Tennessee with Austin Sanders and so forth. You had a nominee. Cole Copeland was nominated for Mr. Football. So you've had a lot of great athletes.
Yeah, I've been fortunate, and like I said, Bradley is a special place. But man, I don't honestly. I can't. Somebody else might have to answer that question. I don't know. A lot of good memories. You know, a lot of ups and downs, and I think the thing about Bradley that's special to me is the people. Obviously, that's what makes it. But the amount of people that love Bradley. You talk about our coaching staff having 10 guys on there. And obviously that's who I wanted on our staff, but they wanted to come back as well. You know, we just added Dewan Massengale, who's one of my favorite players I ever coached of all time. We actually created the Bear Award that we give out every year at our banquet for Dewan because of exactly what he meant. And but yeah, it's the people that make it special. So privileged to be there.
All right. Any of you guys have any comments you got to say about the upcoming game? Caleb, you played McMinn before. You came from Ray County, of course. People know that, but.
I ain't too much to say. We're just ready to play.
Ready to play, huh?
Yeah.
Tired of knocking each other in the head in practice, huh?
Yeah. All that hard work, we're about to play. So.
Well, I know coaches are excited, and we are as radio guys. Earl and I have done the radio forever, and we appreciate you guys and all the hard work. I know you guys have gone through the ups and downs of the injuries and things like that too. So let's keep a healthy team this year and see what we can do. And it's there for the taking, guys. It's all up to you guys.
Coach Rowin?
Gary, let me jump in here and talk with Damon just a minute. Sure. And you and I, you've been around for, you're headed toward 40, more than 30 in the broadcasting. So he's going to catch me here because I know I'm not going to keep this up for another 10 years or so. And Gary's going to, look how young he is. I know he's got at least 20 more in him.
There you go.
There you go.
I would like to think so.
Coach Floyd, Damon I refer to him as, I want you to hit one aspect here. In the years that I've covered the Bears, I have learned a little bit about football, and one thing that I have observed is you cannot have a successful season with just 3, 4, 5 outstanding athletes. I have looked at, sometimes we have had a couple of outstanding running backs, but we have no offensive line up front, and it's one of the most frustrating things that I have ever sat in a broadcast booth to watch the running backs, good running backs, and there are no holes up there. I've seen the fact that we've had an outstanding quarterback and 0 wide receivers worth a flip.
I didn't say this.
I'm just telling you the facts of what over 50 years of watching all this. Sometimes we have a good offensive unit and the defense gives up an average of 41 points a game. Hard to win. This year's team and the last several years, we have had the special units that have had outstanding players. We've had a good blend of running backs, a quarterback that we could count on, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers, a great up front 5, the Hogs, great defense. It all comes together. And that is what makes a successful team from my observation. And you've already said, this is perhaps your most experienced and most depth in the 18 years you've been with the Bears. Now, elaborate on what I just said about the different units and how this year's team could be something special.
Well, it's the ultimate team game. You know, everybody's got a job to do every play, and if everyone doesn't do their job successfully, then the team doesn't succeed. So that's one of the things we talk about a lot in the off season is just being a great teammate. And so far, these guys have. And you know, we do have some talented players, but there's one ball, so we got to spread it around and try to get it to the guys that make plays. But those guys that are not getting the ball have to block. Defensively, you know, our defensive line and our philosophy, you got to keep people off the linebacker so people like Jackson can go make a tackle, or you know, the secondary's got to cover. So, like I said, ultimate team game. These guys are great teammates. They care about each other. You know, 7-on-7s, for example. If one person scores, the things I look at is not who's scoring. I turn my attention to the rest of the teammates, and they're the ones that's happy that their teammates scoring. And I think that's the difference in winning and losing, because there's no selfishness. You're happy for your teammate. You care about each other. But that all takes time. You know, these guys, a lot of these guys have started for 4 years. And they know each other well, obviously, but they care about each other. And the reason they care about each other is because they built that trust in the weight room at 6 in the morning. You know, like Luke, Tito, they've not missed a workout in 4 years. They also play other sports. But they still come before school, and they live together. And obviously that builds trust amongst each other, but also builds respect. And, you know, that's what you got to do to build a team, to be unselfish.
Amen. I applaud your dedication, your hard work. It's not just talent. It is that team aspect. And Coach Floyd has hit the nail on the head. And I will say, guys, you are blessed to play for not just Coach Floyd, but a great staff of coaches. I think you've already found that out. And this man right here took the Bears. Do all of you know what our record was the year before Coach Floyd took over? Anybody?
0-10?
Almost. 1-9, and we had an 0-10 season. Just Jimmy Logan is nodding in agreement. Yes, and that doesn't set too well with the old-time Bradley alumni and the rabid fans that we have. Talk about the McMinn series, but guys. Coach Floyd came in, and I remember the president of our booster club saying, some people think that Coach Floyd is too young. You were just, what, 28 years old? 27? Yeah. 26. And when you're 26 years old and you're the head coach of a team like Bradley Central High School, immediately a couple of hundred people are going to say, oh, he's too young, you know, he needs some experience. Hey, the president of our booster club said, we need Damon Floyd. And I hope that he coaches forever. And we're headed in that direction. He may have 30 more years in him. Talk about Garry Ownbey here. But, hey, Coach Floyd got it reorganized, brought in a good staff of coaches, and we didn't just turn it around in 1 year. It took 4 or 5 years. And, boy, since then, 13 straight playoffs, and we're headed for 14 this year. And go!
Hey, let's beat the Cherokees. How about that, guys? Let's go. Thanks so much, Earl. Thank you. You guys are stars of the show as well, and obviously you know a lot about Bradley football. Let's go. All right. Thank you, guys. You can hear them on Talk 101.3 The Buzz beginning next Friday night. Plus, we'll have it on mixtv.tv. Coming up next, Coach Bob Coach. I've had so many coaches there. The voice of the Volunteers. Bob Kessling is next. Stand by.
Thank you. Good to see you, man.